SRC News at 7. Ondo State House of Assembly begins public hearings on land disputes. Students, parents hope for resolution over technical glitches in JAMB registration process. Justice Minister bans police from parading suspects. And from the foreign scene, US, Russia begin talks to end Ukraine war. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the news at 7. My name is Oduayo Sawyer. The Ondo State House of Assemblies had ad hoc committee on public petitions and fraudulent activities related to land disputes has initiated an investigation into 10 petitions received following the anti-land grabbing bill's passage in December 2024. During the committee's first sitting in Akure, Ondo State Capital, Chairman of the committee, Ololade Begudu, stressed the committee's role in mediating land issues and finding lasting solutions to the growing problem of land grabbing in the state. He assured the residents that the House is committed to addressing their complaints and collaborate with the executive arm to ensure effective enforcement of the new law. Begudu stated that the committee has addressed 5 petitions so far and plan to tackle the remaining 5 soon. After hearing from petitioners, Begudu expressed confidence that the committee would reach a fair resolution. The swearing-in of 18 local government chairmen in Ondo State has signaled a new beginning at the third tier of government. While still basking in the euphoria of the new assignment, residents of Ondo State have urged the new chairman to quickly settle down for business. In this report, our correspondent Zimo Ibiemi takes a look at the task before the local government headsmen. The report is presented from our studio.
The local government is the closest to the people and are vested with certain powers to exercise control over the affairs of people in its domain. There is no nation in the world without a local government system, except that system differs in name and setting. In Nigeria, through a series of reforms, executive pronouncement and decrees as well as actual practices over the years, the local government administration has become and has been accepted as a third tier within the structure of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. On the 17th of February 2025, local government administration in Ondo State was injected a fresh air as 18 local government chairmen and vice chairmen took oath of office. The oath taking signaled a new beginning in the third tier of government with high hopes from residents. Residents in Akure joining the swearing-in ceremony tasked the new local government bosses to think out of the box in meeting the yearnings and aspirations of the people at the grassroots.
We adjourn to the rules of law and give back to the different local governments that the law presents by doing what is right at all times. Now that they have been given autonomy, the autonomy is not because of frugality or wasteful spending, but it is meant to develop the grassroots.
Others said the majority of the people at the local government level would not look up to them for democratic dividends.
There will be challenges, but whatever the challenges may be, we should always endeavor to have recourse to the state government for way forward.
The thought of God towards man is thought of good. So it's for them to do good. So my advice for every one of them is to follow the will of God and do good.
Now the chairmen will need to prove their mettle on how to galvanize development and strive to reduce poverty in their various domains.
Are people to respect the tsunami of developmentalism, the tsunami of the area of agriculture, the ICT and the other infrastructural development. We have our plans towards the health. We have how to monitor the staff first, then monitor how drugs will be provided, and the implementation around it is very important. We have our plan and we perform to your satisfaction. It's a new dawn in Ondo State, the area of local government. Talk about infrastructure, talk about health, talk about agriculture, talk about whatever that will make the life of the people better than the way it has been is what we will give.
The main purpose of local government is to effectively and efficiently establish and maintain services and utilities in order to cater for the basic needs of the people, the majority of who live in the rural areas. And the time to set machineries in motion is now.
The steering committee has released the schedule of activities to mark the inauguration ceremony of Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa and his deputy Olaide Adelani coming up on Monday, February 24, 2025. A statement by the Governor's Chief Press Secretary, Ebenezer Adeniyo, says the event will commence on Friday, February 21, 2025, with a Jumat service at the Akure Central Mosque by 1 p.m. The activities will continue with a World Press Conference to be addressed by Governor Aiyedatiwa on Saturday, February 2022 at Araromi Seaside in Ilaje local government area by 11 a.m. to showcase the tourism potentials of the state. On Sunday, February 23, there will be a church Thanksgiving service at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Jesus House, Okejebu, Akure by 10 a.m. while the swearing-in ceremony of the governor and deputy governor will take place at the Ondo State Sports Complex, Akure by 10 a.m. on Monday, February 24. The statement added that by 6 p.m. on the same Monday, there will be inauguration gala night and book presentation at the International Center for Culture and Events, the Dome, Akure. The ongoing registration for the 2025 Unified Tertiary Examination (UTME) by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAM) is eliciting mixed reactions from students and parents. While some candidates comment the registration process, others express frustrations over delays encountered during the exercise, including technical glitches and long waiting times, which they claimed hindered anticipated smooth exercise. Blessing Obe brings us a report from several registration centers.
It's another JAM registration season, and across various points in Ondo State, students and parents are making their way to registration centers, eager to secure a spot for the forthcoming exam. The registration, which began on 3rd February 2025, is scheduled to conclude on 8th March 2025. While some candidates describe the process as seamless, others tell different stories of long wait times, technical glitches, and overcrowding. For some, the process appears to be running smoothly, with candidates saying they encountered no issues during the registration.
Everything went well, it was fine, the approaching and everything is okay, so it went well. The registration went very smooth and I did not regret my first time of coming here. No, there was no delays, there was no difficulties.
The registration was simple, was not difficult.
However, others, especially parents accompanying their words, voiced their frustration over the slow pace of the registration exercise, citing long waiting hours and system glitches.
I just asked most like come today, come tomorrow and stuff like that. So that's all the difficulties. So like today is Monday, they asked us to come back for on Thursday for fingerprint and stuff like that.
Okay, so what time have you been here?
I've been here since 9.
Looking at the time now.
Yes, it's 1 o'clock.
It's not easy to collect this phone, in the sense that we came last week for morning tea closing hour. At the end of the day, phone was given to us, but they promised that we should come today for cash only. Since morning, very early in the morning, we were here. No, we don't know what exactly that is going. Maybe the server of the computer is affecting, or so I just returned from where I moved to in the morning, and now I don't know the state of the preparation.
The way parents are suffering because we are here with our children. I mean, they should just try to do something to encourage us. It's not like we'll be sitting here waiting outside with our children to obtain jam form. At the end of the day, there will be no job opportunity. They should try to do something. They should try to do something so that we parents can be happy too.
With weeks left before the deadline, candidates and parents hope these challenges will be resolved in time to allow every eligible candidate the chance to experience a seamless registration. Blessing Obe, Osrc News.
Nigeria's headline inflation rate has declined to 24.48% in January 2025. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, this marks a significant decrease from the 34.80% recorded in December 2024. The Statistician General of the Federation, Adeyemi Adeniro, pronounced a decline in the Consumer Price Index during the and better reflect current consumer spending patterns. These basically led to a decline in the general prices of goods and services compared to December. The base food inflation also saw a decrease, standing at 26.08% year-on-year in January, down from 39.84% in the previous month. We'll take a short break on the news at 7. Please just stay with us. Thank you for rejoining us on the news at 7. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. Nigerians are experiencing a heat wave, causing millions of people to suffer scorching heat. Experts warn that the extreme temperatures amidst the epileptic power supply could trigger diseases, threaten livestock, and lead to death. Osrc's Abidemi Akinoto in this report looks at how to stay safe and healthy at this time.
A heat wave is a prolonged period of hot weather with temperatures significantly higher than the average. This phenomenon is characterized by high humidity, making the heat feel even more oppressive. Heat waves are of significant concern globally as residents shared their experiences during this season and how they have been able to adapt to the weather condition.
Not that we are light clothes. I don't tend to wear too much clothes that can be so stuffy that can give me it, because I don't know where I can find myself. I can find myself in a place where it's a little bit crowdy and it's not be okay. Yes, for me, like that, so that's like bootable clothes, like this gown. I know that this heat to be passed. It's not going to stay forever.
When I came from work, I'll take my bath. Before the children go together, I have to go and bathe. So that's what I do. If you are lucky, you have water. Because some people are suffering
for the lack of water, they don't have water. Yes, you have water, bathe as many times as you can bathe please. After that, open your window for cross ventilation.
Heat waves have significant effects, particularly for vulnerable populations such as the elderly, children, and those with pre-existing medical conditions, as emphasized by medical experts.
Sometimes you can have fatal attack, especially in children. Children are very prone to heat, so they can easily go down. Then we have some people by their nature, the way they are made, by genetic constitution, they are prone to heat, like the sickle cell disease. People who have sickle cell disease, because of the nature of their blood, if they are dehydrated, they can easily go into crisis, bone crisis or other crisis. Likewise, albino.
The body, at least when you are under 50 or thereabout, your body is made up of over more than 60% of water. And the water has to lubricate the whole system. So we lose a lot of water through sweating, and especially through sweating. And breathing, you breathe out a lot of water. So then of course the core temperature begin to rise when you are exposed to too much heat, and it can result in heat stroke. Yes, that's the extreme of heat stroke.
To stay safe and healthy, medical experts advise Nigerians to drink enough water and fluids, but avoid alcohol, caffeine, and sugary drinks. They harp on the need to wear light, loose-fitting, and breathable clothing, seek shade, and avoid strenuous activities when outdoors. The medical experts also stress the need to check on the elderly, children, and people with chronic diseases who may be more vulnerable to the heat.
People who are working with farmers, they should schedule their time in such a way that they work in the mornings when the sun is not yet out. Maybe from morning to around 10, 11, then they go and rest and wait till the evening again. So by that they go to reduce their exposure to heat. Likewise, the sicklers, they should try and avoid the heat, exposing themselves to sun. And then likewise the albinos, they can use their skin protecting clothing that will prevent them from being exposed to all these things. And then they also reduce their exposure to sun by making sure that they don't work when the heat is high.
As much as possible, the surface area of a child is more than the surface area. When we talk of surface area, is the area exposed relative to the size of the body. They lose more heat more easily than they lose water more easily than adults. So and of course, when they are thirsty, it is obvious. It's easy to give them water by mouth, and they shouldn't overhydrate them. It's not the time to wrap up the child for a kind of clothing that we allow the child to be, to the skin to breathe, so to say. Air will blow into the reason. They shouldn't expose them to direct to sun at this time. And that's the basic thing about children.
Understanding the risk of this current heat wave is crucial, and it's essential for individuals to take proactive steps and join forces to ensure their safety and well-being. Abidemi Akinlotoye, Osrc News.
In other news, following the arson at the divisional police station in Ifon, Osrc local government area, the Ondo State Police Command says it has arrested 5 suspects. The state confirmed the arrest and said the command has launched a full investigation into the incident. The violence in Ifon stemmed from a clash between 2 families, escalated into widespread unrest before police intervention. Tensions rose further after an individual arrested during the conflict died in police custody, triggering protests that resulted in the station being burnt down. The police chief Afolabi condemned the attack and cautioned residents against taking the law into their own hands. He emphasized the importance of due process and assured the public that justice will be served. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, has officially prohibited the Nigeria Police Force from publicly parading suspects. This directive aims to uphold the rights of individuals presumed innocent until proven guilty. Senior police officers in the Federal Capital Territory and Lagos State confirmed that they have been informed of this new policy. Force spokesman Muyiwa Adejobi indicated that an official statement regarding the ban would be released in due course. The Nigeria Customs Service says the rising cases of smugglers are threatening the economy of Nigeria. Hence, it would deploy the use of modern technology to combat the activities to reduce it to the barest minimum. The Comptroller General of Customs Service, Bashir Adeniyi, stated this during his familiarization tour of Nigeria Customs Service Area Command in Ilorin, Kwara State. He noted that the activities of smugglers, if left unchecked, would undermine the economic prosperity of the country, assuring that all the land borders would be properly manned to ensure sanity in the areas. Adeniyi said the option of modern technology is imperative because the sophistication of smugglers demands more than a conventional approach, adding that the persistent challenge of petroleum smuggling continues to pose a serious challenge to Nigeria's economy. He urged the residents of border communities to support the service with intelligence information on the activities of smugglers in their midst to enable it to succeed. The Anambra State government has dismissed rumors claiming that it authorized the arrest of women not wearing undergarments. In a public notice, the Senior Special Assistant on New Media to Governor Chukwuma Soludo, Ejimofo Okpara, debunked the trending announcement made by a town crier in Abagana, in Jikoka local government area, stating that information was neither issued by the state government nor affiliated with the Agunechemba security outfit. Okpara clarified that the state government has no interest in such trivial matters as they lack any legal basis, emphasizing that the government's focus remains in addressing criminal activities and maintaining law and order, not policing citizens' choices of undergarments. While promoting decent dressing in communities, Okpara urged citizens to ignore the announcement and continue supporting security agencies by providing credible information to combat crime in their areas. Renowned Nigerian statesman and leader of PAN Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, Chief Edwin Clark has passed away at the age of 97. In a statement, his family said his death occurred on Monday, February 17, 2025. The statement said further details regarding his passing will be provided by the family in due course. Chief Clark was a prominent figure in Nigerian politics, having served as the Federal Commissioner for Information and a key advocate for the rights of the Niger Delta region throughout his career. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has expressed sadness over the passing of former Federal Commissioner for Information and respected leader of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, Chief Edwin Clark. Tinubu's condolence message was contained in a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga. Tinubu said late Chief Edwin Clark led an illustrious life marked by dedicated service at different times to the nation and his community as a councillor, state and federal cabinet member. The President described Chief Clark as a towering figure whose influence was felt across Nigeria's political firmament for nearly 6 decades and stood for what he believed in and was never afraid to stand alone in the face of injustice. Tinubu prayed for divine comfort for Chief Clark's family, friends and all those affected by this significant loss. Moving on to the foreign scene, the old city of the Libyan capital, Tripoli, is rich in history and culture. Dating back over 3,000 years, it has witnessed the rise and fall of various civilizations from the Phoenicians to the Romans and later the Ottomans. Its narrow alleys, ancient markets, and centuries-old buildings reflect the deep cultural heritage of the region. The Sunday Kolawole completes the story.
Saya el-Hamra for a time in history. It was also called Castelnuovo or Red Castle in English. It was built by the Ottomans hundreds of years ago, but people have lived here for thousands of years. It's on the southeastern gate of area, the old city of Tripoli. This ancient city was established by the Phoenicians nearly 3,000 years ago. It then came under Roman control and flourished in the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD. It was conquered by the Rashidun Caliphate and was renamed Tripoli in the 7th century. It's one of 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Libya on its endangered list.
The old city has a long and distinguished history. Various civilizations ruled over it like Romans, the Spanish, the Ottomans. They each made changes. For instance, Martyr Square has had several names. The square in the front of the door, the Grand Square, Piazza Italia, and the Green Square under Gaddafi.
For generations, the city of Tripoli has been nicknamed the bride of the Mediterranean Sea and was neglected for decades. A recent government campaign to renovate the city is changing that. Martyr Square and the surrounding area is getting a new look. Libya has struggled with conflict and political instability for more than a decade, but has been relatively peaceful in recent years. That's allowed local officials to breathe new life into its historical sites.
The last time any development was done to Martyr Square was in the 1970s. It was pretty much just a roundabout. We're making it much bigger while maintaining the historic landmarks like the Red Castle, the fountain, and the pillars. I'm sure people will like the change and come visit from across the country.
The College Martyr Fountain, Mustafa Shileski is from Misrata, is visiting Tripoli with his 5 children.
God willing, we will have a better future and more development. May God give us peace across our beautiful country.
People here hope stability can be achieved and the bride of the Mediterranean Sea can return to its former glory and give Libyans a renewed sense of pride in their culture and history.
And Donald Trump is reviving U.S.-Russia dialogue, sending Marco Rubio to meet Sergei Lavrov in Saudi Arabia. Ukraine's president, fearing betrayal, insists no decisions should be made without Ukraine and will not attend. European leaders, alarmed by Trump's unilateral approach, plan an emergency summit in Paris. Germany stresses continued support for Ukraine, while the UK considered sending troops to enforce a peace deal. Blessing will be fastidious.
A few weeks ago, the meeting the U.S. Secretary of State is in Saudi Arabia to attend wouldn't have been possible. After Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the Biden administration stopped all high-level dialogue with Moscow. But after a 90-minute phone call with Vladimir Putin last week, President Donald Trump has sent Marco Rubio to meet senior Russian officials in Riyadh. It seems Trump plans to defrost years of icy U.S.-Russian relations.
The President agreed that it's necessary to resume dialogue on all issues that can be resolved one way or another.
He's in the United Arab Emirates and will travel to Riyadh on Wednesday, but says he won't attend the Rubio-Lavrov meeting. Europe's leaders